Hello there, and welcome to my channel Novice Modelling in a Midlife Crisis. My name is Andy, and today, as you can see, we're looking at my Starfix 172 North American P51-D Mustang, which was produced originally around about 1991, and these kits originated, I believe, from Israel. So this particular kit I purchased a Starfix kit on the basis of having a bit of a sort of Notorious video, you could say, which was when I attempted to build a Ventura Mark 22 Spitfire, which turned out to be a bit of a nightmare. Now, a very kind viewer, as I kind of seem to have a thing for slightly bizarre kits, actually pointed me in the direction of Starfix and say, hey, you know what, if you like building nightmare kits, why don't you have a go at one of these? So I duly went online and bought one. I think I got this with the postage for around about £10, I think it was. So it fit in quite nicely with what I was doing at the time, which was building reasonably inexpensive kits quite badly for what I called my dirty dozen phase, where I was just putting kits together because all I wanted to do was get some practice with painting. Most of these kits weren't really put together with any great skill. They were generally sort of gappy and what have you, but they were just what we call painting mules, I believe. So when I built this one, I was kind of expecting it to be not exactly great, and lo and behold, when I inspected it, let's just take it off here, I actually found a rather nasty blemish on this wing here. Now if you look closely, you can see that most of the detail has been taken off, and that's because it took quite a bit of, well, it didn't really take an awful lot of effort to sand off the imperfection, because I used my Black & Decker sander on it. This is kind of why it's part of what I'm calling my Notorious build series. This caused a little bit of consternation among certain viewers who thought treating kits this way was abhorrent, but a lot of people just took it for what it was. It was just a guy, a novice, having a bit of a laugh. He'd found a bit of a dodgy kit, and he decided to give it the treatment that a lot of people probably would have actually kind of liked to do. So I sanded off the imperfection, put it together in my customary style at the end of the day, which was giving it about 15 minutes of build time, and it turned out a bit naff. What we discovered was that the undercarriage was very flimsy, if you like, and unfortunately did take a tumble off the desk at some point, and the undercarriage just pretty much just broke off. So we stuck it in its raised position, and we attacked it with some, probably this Revel Plasto, to try and fill it in. We weren't very successful, but at this point we didn't really care about what it was going to turn out like. We had further discussions with a couple of people who suggested to us if we were going to paint these things in aluminium finish, that what we should do is we should use black primer on them. And I thought that's okay, that sounds like a good idea. But I kind of thought to myself, well, what's the difference instead of using white primer? So what I decided to do was I painted one side of it in black, and I painted the other side in white. And as you can see, you do get quite a different finish. This one is very sort of smooth and even, and this one is kind of speckled. So I mean, as a throwaway kit that I was just having fun with, it was a good sort of thing for experimentation, which I realised straight away. Now, as you can see here on the engine cover, there's a very pronounced difference between the two finishes where you're using the white and the black. So I mean, it's all very well someone saying, oh, when you do this you need to do this, but seeing it in the flesh like I've done here kind of offers a visual explanation as to why it is recommended to do black. This obviously does, to me, provide slightly more interesting texture. So anyway, that was the first part of our experiment after bodging this thing together. We then decided that what we needed to do as well was we needed to experiment with various types of varnish. Now, I'm currently using aerosol varnish. I do have varnish for my airbrush also, but this just seems to be a hell of a lot easier than loading the airbrush up with some sticky glue at the end of the day. So we've actually tried on our Mark 22 Spitfires that we're actually uploading completed builds for over the next few days. We tried Vallejo Gloss, we tried Vallejo Matte and Vallejo Satin, and I've done a Mark 22 in each of these finishes. But prior to that, I decided that what I wanted to do, because I had this terrible lump of plastic, was I'd just try it on this as well. So as you can see, on this side we've got matte, on this side we've got gloss, and on the centre we did it in satin. It's kind of hard to see, I reckon, on camera, but there is definite, I mean, you can definitely see, I think, that this one is very, very shiny on this side, and this one is quite a bit duller. But with it being the sort of aluminium finish, it's kind of hard to see. Obviously, the satin in the middle possibly doesn't help because it presents a sort of slight graduation between the two. But for me, in the flesh in front of me, I can see the differences. Now, I actually painted a P29 that I finished in August, and I did that gloss on gloss, and it does look a bit shiny, but they were sort of polished metal, so that's the way it should have been. When I did paint it, I actually used a grey varnish, so it's kind of in between these two. So again, it's all experimentation for novices. I mean, this is something that I kind of like doing, and I did kind of enjoy building this kit in a kind of unconventional way. And I do actually have a few more horror kits in my stash, and maybe one day we might need our big tool to help resolve a few problems. Or maybe we'll just go down the conventional route because we're kind of a little bit more sensible these days. So I hope you enjoyed this little... Oh no, I haven't quite finished yet. Incidentally, they also came with this also came with transfers or decals of a sort, and they're kind of weird because they don't look like conventional ones. So I actually started trying to sort of rub them off at first with a pencil like you would do old-fashioned transfers, and that didn't work. These are kind of sticky on the side. And then it said, I saw the instructions, and it said soak in water for 5 minutes. It calls it a toy as well. This was actually soaked in water for about 20 minutes, and lo and behold, the transfer or decal or whatever the hell it is didn't shift. So yeah, these are not exactly what you'd call great kits. So that's pretty much all I've got to say about this, apart from at some point in November, I think I'll have a little firework party in the back garden, and I think we'll be testing the aerodynamics of my P51-D Mustang, and I'll probably do a film to demonstrate its ability to fly, attached to a firework, that is, anyway. So that will coincide with Bonfire Night, obviously, which in the UK is Guy Fawkes, when Guy Fawkes tried to blow up Parliament, because that's something we've all wanted to do. So please do like and subscribe. Please do follow me on my novice building ride. There are currently videos going up for this abomination, which I did, which is the Ventura Mark 22, and the other gloss experimentations with some with this Hawk Mark 22 and this Testors Mark 22, which incidentally I built in 1 minute 35 seconds. So yeah, you can probably see why some of my early attempts at building models I can quite rightly call, I think, infamous. So thanks for watching me, thanks for joining me. Please do like and subscribe, and be seeing you.